wrong.
Well done, young ladies. Welcome to Football Friday on Saturday. It is our last show of the season, so despite having a great road trip today, I'm a sad Mark Ovenden.
I'm always a happy Zach Borg. It is the season finale, and as always, it's brought to you by Paul's Place in Canton. It's semifinal night for the remaining 4 classes.
And we start our coverage in Class 11B. And the Winter Warriors, who have 8 shutouts in 10 games, they actually trailed Bridgewater Emery-Ethan 3-0 early. Their first time they've trailed in 2 years. Cameron Kyle with a touchdown run, and they're not trailing anymore. It's 8-3. Riley Calhoun, he's going to carry the mail for another touchdown. Suddenly it's 16-3, and you kind of know how this thing goes. Watch Caleb Brosick with the fumble recovery right there.
Slipped out at the last second.
And guess who's going to score in the next play? This time it's not a run. It's Drew Demers who's going to go to the air. And it's that Brosick guy, the one that recovered the fumble. Beautiful pass. He's wide open. That made it 24-6, your final 38-13. They've given up 35 points all season. That is unbelievable. In Groton area, beats Roncalli in a low-scoring defensive battle, 16-10, your final there.
That's your 11B final. On to the 9AA class, which is loaded. 2 great semifinals starting in Gregory, where the Gorillas hosted Stanley County. First quarter, Jade Vanderwerth into the shadows and into the light for a touchdown. Gorillas get the 2-point conversion lead, 8-0. After a quarter, back comes Stanley County. Riley Hannum rolling, and hitting Cutter Gillespie, who will cut to the end zone. How many guys you see wear number 58? Boom, like that. Gregory lead cut to 8-7. Gorillas, they can pass a bit too, though. Andy McCants, 34 yards. Vanderwerf wide open, and it's 16-7. Just before half, guess who? It's McCants dropping back again and hitting Vanderwerf again with just 16 seconds to go in the half. Gregory goes on to roll 44-7.
I love those uniforms.
Yeah.
Really do. All right, on to Webster, where the Bearcats hosting Baltic in what figured to be a great game between 2 undefeated teams. Bearcats put on a clinic in the first half. They strike first on this touchdown run by Riley Reitz. And we saw the cheerleaders in the open. They had a lot to cheer about in this game. Baltic would get going after a Webster fumble. Reese Warren finding the edge for a long touchdown run. And we are tied up at 6-6. They were playing in Webster today, by the way, not Waubee. Hunter Gaikowski just laying a wicked hit, but he fumbles. And Baltic recovers. Bulldogs would dig into the playbook and find this. Hook and ladder. Off to Caden Wolf down the sidelines. He's bumped out of bounds.
Shot by Justin Wolf.
However, they would turn the ball over later in the drive on this fumble, giving Webster, and these guys were pretty happy about it. Great field position. And Kelby Hawkins is going to dive into the end zone. 38-28, your final. It's Webster and Gregory in what should be a great 9AA championship. I've said it all year. This class has the most teams that could have won a state championship. Some lost, 2 rounds ago. And here's who's left, Webster and Gregory.
That's going to be fun. On to a classic matchup in 9A in Warner, where the Monarchs, how about the year that school's had? Their boys basketball team won the state title. Their girls win a lot of state titles. They were hosting Sully Buttes. Nick Evangelisto gets the Monarchs off and running, tiptoe on the sideline on a 52-yard touchdown run. Sully Buttes looking for the answer. They made the state title game a year ago. They turned to their senior Brady Hill. He's down the sidelines, and the big fella gonna rumble into the end zone. That ties things up. But on the ensuing kickoff, it's Evangelisto again. Just gotta love that name. He takes it off the bounce, fakes the reverse, and he is gonzo. 82 yards to the end zone.
More stickers on the helmet for him after tonight.
No doubt. And then just before the half, it's Jack Braun. He will power into the end zone. What a year for Warner. It continues. They take it 57-21. That last score should be 56-26.
Huh.
Little typo there.
Okay.
But Coleman-Egan going to the state title
Warner against
game.
Coleman-Egan, 2 teams that won by almost similar scores tonight. All right, finally in Class 9B, I headed to Corsica, where Colome paid a visit to Corsica, Stickney, and the Jaguars. Crazy start. Watch this punt. Oops.
Oh.
Bounces away,
Oh.
and it's recovered by Clayton Manning.
Look what he found.
But you cannot advance a fumbled punt. So they get the ball back about 40 yards downfield, and this is coming right into your living room.
Oh,
what
shot.
a beautiful pass. Landon Brunsma to Bryce Plump, and it's 6-0. Jaguars have now they meet on the sideline and say, let's run that same play again. It worked. Here you go. Plump again down the middle for the touchdown. It is Plamp. It's 14-0 in favor of the Jaguars. It looks like they're going to win this, but the Cowboys had other things in mind. Watch Kelly O'Brien with a touchdown late in the first half. They would score a touchdown in the final minute, get the 2-point conversion, and in a thriller, the Cowboys come all the way back to beat the Jags after trailing most of the game. Your final 28-27, and look at that score. 61-44, so that should be a wide open, high scoring, fun championship game in the IB championship. Langford back to defend their title.
And with Lincoln Gibbs too. And Mark, it's been a fun year of Football Friday as always, doing it with you, my man.
That's it. More sports for him next.
No fist pound? There we go.
Sorry.